Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the glass case of emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
It might help if my microphone was turned on.
We got a lot of stuff going over here, man.
Well, I don't know. Riddle me this, though, Batman. Okay, Zach, go ahead and hit the Zack Cam. Figure it out. Figure it out. Where's the Zack Cam?
And you also
there
need
he
a microphone.
Is. Okay, that's the Zack Cam. And so every once in a while, I'll call on Zach, who's behind all the monitors. I can't actually see Zach's face because he's hidden behind monitors. So the only time I can see him is when he turns the Zack Cam on, which you guys can see right now. Okay.
Yep.
All right, you can go ahead and turn it off. I'm done talking to you. All right. So here we go again. We did it on Monday. We actually recorded it last week. Today is Wednesday's show. And last time, Zach S. was sitting behind the board and Zack M. was monitoring him. Now we've switched it. And Zack M., the shipping ogre, is actually on the board, and he's being monitored by the other one, Zach, the other Zach.
Yep.
So we've got
That's
Facebook,
what-
YouTube, and Discord listening, watching.
And Discord.
Wow.
Hey, Ben Voltmer, what's up? And Dan.
Saw him at NRA. I didn't see
right.
Dan, though. I've seen Dan. We met Dan at, I think it was either Nashville or Louisville. One of those two. I'm sorry.
You know they're going back
I
to
have to get it
Nashville
right.
next year.
It's Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah.
And Louisville.
We
Oh,
should
you're
plan a
right.
student of the gun party.
Yeah.
And I'm going to recruit
yeah,
you
we
guys.
should- we have a
this
year.
camera. Yeah.
We have 1 year to plan that. I think we got time. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? It's a brand new, and if you're listening to this on Wednesday and you're driving, you're listening on iTunes or iHeartRadio or whatever you're listening on, you're like, why do these guys act like I can see them?
Because you can.
These guys are talking as if I can see them.
Yep. And we're actually going to interact with the live
Well,
audience.
you could see us, and if you want to, what you can do is you can go over, and please don't ask me for a schedule right now because that's not something.
Ask me, I'll send it
yeah.
to you. About 5 minutes before we go live.
You just have to sign up for notifications on either the Fbook or YouTube, and then you'll get a notification that says, I mean, I get them on my phone. I don't even remember signing up for half these things, but like when Silver Strength, when he goes live, I get a thing that says, Scott Silver Strength.
Well, the reason is
Hamburg is live.
Yeah.
Would you like to watch it?
The reason is because at the end of the video, I'm not sure if it does this on YouTube, but I know it does it on Facebook. At the end of the video, it'll pop up and say, hey, get live notifications.
Click here
And
for live notifications so you don't miss any.
Zach keeps forgetting to switch the camera angles when I'm talking so people could see me and they don't have to look at Dad. But
There you go.
yeah. So if you're at the end of the video and there's a button that pops up and says, yes, get live notifications, go ahead and click that button because it'll let you know next time we go live.
There you go. That would be good. That way you don't have to say, oh, I keep missing them. I keep missing the live feeds. And you don't have to listen. I mean, you know, if that's not your bag, man, I know a lot of people can't watch or aren't able to watch because they're driving. And a lot of people enjoy this show while they're at work. They put one earbud in, or maybe you're a free American and you put this show on speakers and you make the whole rest of the shop listen to it, and they can just suck it if they don't like listening to it. Yeah. You might be one of those people. Or maybe you have a deli somewhere. You have a coffee shop or deli and you play Student of the Gun over the speakers in your deli.
That would be fantastic. From a technical standpoint, the reason that we're doing these live streams, and if you don't care, just go ahead and comment and say, I don't care, so I can shut up. But the reason that we're doing the video stuff is because you can take audio from the video, but you can't add video to audio.
Yeah.
So now we've got ways, like those of you that like to watch, you can watch. If you like to listen, we're still doing it the same way we did before. You can still listen.
The audio, we're using the black carbon steel microphones and pop filters and all that jazz. The audio is really good on the video. Like, for instance, I listened to Monday's show, and it was really good. The audio was really good. And if you're looking for something a little more interactive, hey, Crystal Fox is here. I'm not
her
going to be able
too.
to say hi to everybody because people are just like popping up, pop, 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 pop. Brandon Whitney, thank you for saying that the operator book was good. Brandon, you can just give me a thumbs up. Did you leave a review on Amazon for that? I work in pediatrics. I have to be a ninja. Put one earbud in and just don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
and every once in a while you'll bust out laughing. You'll be like, ha! And people are
Like, I just
why
thought
are
of that
why
joke.
are you laughing?
Then you have
Why
to
are you-
think
What
of
are you
something.
laughing about in your office there all by yourself? Don't worry about it. Oh, thank you, Brandon Whitney. Just so you guys know how YouTube, not YouTube ratings, but Amazon ratings. For some reason, people seem to not know that they think they're being modest or something. A 3-star rating, according to Amazon, is a negative review. So if you write, I really enjoyed the book, I'm looking forward to the next one, here's a 3-star rating, that doesn't really make any
a negative,
sense
yeah.
because Amazon counts 3 and below as a... You're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. It should be neutral. No. Here's the thing. Amazon doesn't count a 3-star rating as a neutral. They count it as a negative review. So, like, if you pull up any product and you look for reviews, positive, negative, any 3-star review is listed in the negative column. So it'll... And I don't know why that is. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It actually does because I don't want to get into
Marketing
the whole thing.
guy. Yeah, don't go too far down the rabbit hole.
I
We'll
won't,
lose people.
But there's actually, or we might not. We might gain more people that like business. So there's actually this scale that's called something. I can't remember what it's called.
It's
but
called something.
essentially-
It has a name.
Yep, essentially,
Trust him.
It
has a name.
It's 7 and above. So on a 1 to 10 scale, a 7 and above is a positive. And
Okay.
then, yeah. And then there's neutral, and then there's
But there's
negative.
only 5.
Yes, you got 7, 8, 9, 10 are the only positives on a 1 to 10 scale. So if you go 1 to 5, there's even less. So you get 4 to 5.
So it's only, that'd be 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So there we go. Now, do you guys all understand that? All right. So, go ahead.
We were actually talking, for those of you that aren't watching and look at the comments, we were talking about the operator book, which is actually here.
Oh, yeah,
It's
there
written
you go.
by our friend Nicholas Orr.
Yeah.
Who
it's
is
a work of fiction.
Yep. He is a friend of Student of the Gun.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that book is available right now as a paperback or as a Kindle version on Amazon. If you guys are fans of military adventure type fiction with a little bit of romance thrown in, you know what's funny is some guys that
Yeah, that was hilarious. Oh, that wasn't it. There was something
Really?
else. Oh, okay.
what's interesting to me is that, all right, you've read Webb Griffin books, right?
A couple, yeah.
All right.
I'm bad with fiction. It's
You've
really hard
read
for
a
me
lot
to-
of fiction,
yeah.
like action fiction, adventure fiction. So I've read a fair amount of. Hey, Stephanie Hall, a fair amount of fiction in my life, and even the Webb Griffin, who did a lot of military stuff, right? A lot of military and really good military fiction, right? He actually wove the fictional tale in with the actual historic reality of what went on in World War One and two, well, not one, but two, and Korea and all that stuff. Did a great job. But he also had heroes and heroines, which is a female hero for those of you who don't know, like an actress, and they would have romantic adventures. I mean, they would do mommy daddy stuff together in the books, but it wasn't a chick book. It was just a book about people with natural emotions and feelings and desires and so forth. And that's what's in the operator book. It's about humans with natural feelings and desires, and they're either go ahead and hit the close-up one. There you go. In the operator book, people, and that, by the way, is the honey badger hat from Black Hills. But it's about real, genuine emotion, fear and anxiety, and love and lust, and all those things that are found in that. So, if you're a fan of fiction, if you enjoy fiction books, just grab it up there. All right, what are we going to talk about on Wednesday? Well, what do we do every Wednesday? Every Wednesday, we have a Brownells bullet points, and we're going to talk about that today. And we're actually going to mix in a little bit. The ogre is back there, and he's not just a shipping ogre, but he's also the shipping producer, or the producing
shipping producer.
ogre. The producing ogre? The ogre producer?
The ship roger.
Whatever.
Wrong, Cam.
Yeah, there you go.
We just want to shorten it to ogre.
The ogre.
Call you
Ogre's
Ogre.
back there with his official Jim Cornette glasses on. And he's going to go ahead and bump up the music for Brownells bullet points. But when we're talking about Brownells, we're going to talk about, well, actually a couple of different things.
Hey, Dina's here.
Hey, Dina. Leave us a 5-star review on Amazon. No, on Facebook. Actually, we have really good reviews on Facebook. Facebook has never
You know what you
messed
just
with us.
did? You were going to have him cue it. So he was like, I'm going to do it now. And then you started talking, and he's like,
No, just so you know, Ogre, you just hit the button. I'll shut my mouth. Like that. So if you're ready to hit it. Boom! You hit me with the Darth Vader there. War by Madison Rising. That's the Brownells Bullet Points official music, and it's a guns and gear topic we're talking about today. So, what I want to talk about is the AR-15 build project. The AR-15 build project. So there you are, being a free American, being a man or a woman. If you want to be a free woman,
this is the free American sign. Those of you that can see me on video, right here.
You want to be
free American.
You want to be a free American and actually build yourself a black rifle because you don't need to ask permission. Go ahead and get the pimp hand lower. A lot of you guys have already ordered the pimp hand lowers. And have some patience. There was a pre-order. We're going to be doing a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. The official public launch notification,
which we'll actually play for you a little bit later,
at NRA.
Yeah.
Ackless Defense is the company that is making them. They are high quality, premium grade AR-15 lower receivers. And they say, well, the serial number is SOTG, student of the gun dash, whatever. I'm getting 001, hippies. That's just what's going to happen.
And 007 is the machine gun.
And 007 is Joe's, which is actually going to be a Class 3 item because he's a machine gun manufacturer.
Hopefully I'll get 2. I would love to have 2.
And so whatever you get, but it's going to say student of the gun on the side. It's going to have our icon. It's going to have the official pimp hand image. It's going to have an image of the pimp hand, and the model number of the lower, it will say model : pimp hand.
Yep, because we're putting the smackdown on this
putting
tyrant.
The smackdown. But you're just going to get, this is like a project gun because you're just going to get a lower receiver. So now, what are you going to do? Well, you got to do stuff with it,
make
right?
A build.
You got to make a build. So, and where do you go to do that? Well, obviously you go to Brownells. Now, the great thing, and if you guys are new to this, and I know a lot of people out there may be new to you're telling me that if I just get, you're like, all right, what's the deal with the lower? The lower, according to the BATFE MOUSE, the lower is the gun. That's the firearm, right? Even though you and I all look at each other and say, yeah, but a lower is just, it's just a piece of aluminum with no moving parts.
They probably had to make something.
Well, I mean, in order to keep the peasants in line, they had to come up with something. They had
Charlie
to come
Brown.
up with a serialized thing. What's up, Charlie Brown? So once you get that aluminum piece, that little piece of aluminum from your gun dealer, your FFL holder, then you can do anything you want to it. And you say, what's the caliber going to say? It's going to say multi. All right, it's not going to say 223 or 300 blackout or 6A SPC or anything else. So it's up to you. If you type in AR-15
while you're doing
upper,
that, I did get confirmation from one of our grad program members that we are going to be receiving very soon about 100 or so dust covers that we're going to laser here in-house.
Get out of Dodge.
Yep. So there's about 100 of them that we're going to get here. We're going to laser them here, and then we're going to go ahead and sell them to you guys for about the retail price of a regular dust cover. So it's going to be great.
Oh, wow. All right, if you guys didn't see, one of our very good friends, Justin Finney, sent me, and I didn't even know it was coming out of the blue, he sent me a laser engraved dust cover that says fighting solves everything. Actually, it says fighting solves everything on one side, and on the other side, on the open side, when you're cacking, it's going to flip open and say fighting solves everything. When it's closed, it says SOTG, and in little tiny words, just a little word, it says Hollywood. And some of you freaks get it. and some of you don't.
Oh, while we're talking
if you're
about
a grad
that,
program member, you get it.
yeah,
If
I
you're
think
not,
we did it to the public, didn't
don't.
we? Because
I don't know. Does the public know the Hollywood story?
I'm not sure, but one of our grad program members asked for that episode the other day. I could not find it, and the ogre couldn't find it. If you guys know,
It's a Miss Nancy one, is what it is.
well, but I think you told it too. Remember, you had told it because somebody asked. It was on an interview that might not be released yet. But anyway,
Yeah, that was
go back.
that was an interview like with EJ
Yeah.
or James or something.
I'm asking them for help. Will you
It was
guys
James.
please send some help and find that episode for me? Send me a link. You can do it, Jarrad at Student of the Gun, Jarrad at studentofthegun.com, or on Facebook.
I'm telling you, the first time
It was Mom.
it was
Yep.
it was an episode, special guest star Miss Nancy, and it was one of those. Now we just talked about it with James on the radio
That's what it was. And
in
we
the
didn't release
interview,
that yet, yeah.
but it's not been released.
Yeah.
So
it'll
that
come
wasn't it.
again. Hey, Kara.
Kara!
We got Charlie and Kara. Jeez.
Charlie and Kara at the same time. Wow. Where's David? Oh, he's somewhere in the future.
Yeah, he's in the future.
He'll see this in the future.
I text him.
He'll hear it in the future.
After I left the show, I was like, hey, man, sorry I didn't come say bye because we were so busy. I went by and said hi to everybody, but I didn't get to go say bye. And I said, that's okay. I'll see you in the future, I'm sure.
Kara, and there's two people in the audience that get that, and they're like, everyone else is like, what? What? All right, so if you go to brownells.com, type in AR-15 upper, here's what you get. You've got 5.56 pistol uppers. You got 300 blackout completed rifle uppers. You've got just your basic upper with nothing in it if you want to build one. Of course, what else you got besides blackout? Now, you guys should know that that if you want to do a black rifle, a traditional AR-15 size gun, you can do the 204 Ruger, you can do 223, 5.56, you can do 300 blackout, you can do 6.8 SPC, you can do 450 Bushmaster if you want to go all kinds of crazy. And if you really want to like lose your mind, you could do some kind of a like bizarre 7.62 thing. There's all kinds of things you can do, and the pieces and parts and so forth are available at Brownells. So go shopping at Brownells. Did you get a chance to see
Yes.
Roy?
I saw Roy, Ryan, Pete. I saw Josh.
Okay.
And I saw Paul as well.
Okay, good.
I got to see
Good.
almost everybody.
All our friends
Dennis,
at Brownells.
you don't say cut. I say cut.
That's right.
Actually, I don't even say cut now.
Yeah, that's right. Zach says cut.
Can
The
I,
ogre says
can I
cut.
pull some
I say
knowledge out of your brain, though? Is that okay with you?
We can try.
Do you guys mind if I pull some knowledge out of his brain?
We can try.
Here's a
Okay,
piece of
so
knowledge. Don't hit your microphone.
okay,
Sorry.
sorry. Answer my ping, Zach, while I'm talking. What is if we had to come up with an essential? It's Professor Paul's AR build essentials. If you were going to build an AR that was just what you need to have, what would you put on it?
For fighting?
Yep.
Okay, for fighting, I would get. Here's what I would do. I would not, if I was going to use, if it's a fighting black rifle, 22 Nosler. Good call, Dennis O'Connor. See, there's so many cartridges now for the standard AR that I have a hard time remembering them all. But anyway, if I were to build a black rifle for fighting, like I'm going to use this to fight, all right, I would not put a 16-inch barrel on it. What I would do is I would make it a rifle caliber pistol or an RCP. I would put a 10.5 or 11-inch barrel on it. I would put a really good muzzle device up front, whether or a can. I mean, if you've got a can and you want to put a can and leave it on there, great, rock on. If you don't have a can or can't get a can or you're waiting for a can, then go ahead and put a really good muzzle device, a gas control device that pushes the gas away from the shooter, not out to the sides or what have you. And then I would go ahead and put one of several different types of braces on it. There's a lot of good braces out there right now. The guys at SB Tactical are doing fantastic work. The KAK, the CAC Shockwave brace is really inexpensive, and it works just fine. Hey, Brad Barr. And then there's that other one. There's the tail hook one. The tail hook works really well, too. So there's a lot of really good braces that you can put on your RCP right now. And I would definitely put some type of a forend that will allow me to mount a white light because you need white light because you can't shoot at shadows and scary sounds. You have to be able to identify what you're going to shoot at. And after that, I would probably go ahead and throw an aim point, like a T1 or an H1 on top of it. I've got an aim point on my home defense rifle. It's actually not the T1. It's the PRO. Yeah, the PRO, the patrol rifle optic, which is just fine. The battery life on those things is retarded. We're basically.
Does that mean good or bad?
Yeah, no, it's like retarded good.
Okay.
Right now we're looking at. I love the Barking Spider. The Barking Spider is a fantastic muzzle device for controlling gas. Yep. And I know there are others out there. The CAC, the can, or what do they call it? The blast device, the KAK one that goes on the front. It's called the. It's something. Blast can. Is it called the blast can or something like that? Yeah. That works. It doesn't work as well as the Barking Spider because it's basically just a one-piece deal. The Barking Spider is actually multiple pieces if you ever take one apart and look at it. But if you can't afford anything else, just get the blast can. I think
flash
it's called
can.
Flash can. Is that what it's called from KAK?
Slim extended 1/2x28 flash can.
Okay. All right. Either way, a good muzzle device because first of all, the 223 5.56 is really obnoxious. Oh, what caliber would it be in? 5.56. 223 5.56 is really obnoxious. Taylor Beckstrom pin and weld a 14-inch barrel. You can do that if you want to. There's really no point in that because the only reason you're doing that is to get around the 16-inch barrel length thing. And right now, at this point in time, flash can, that's it. At this point in time in our history, you don't need to do that. And you don't know in the future if you're going to want to do something else. Like, for instance, a lot of you guys out there might think, well, I don't have a suppressor and I probably won't have one or whatever. I don't have a silencer, so I'm just going to put this can thing on it. But then in the future, you get one. You get a can and you want to put that on there. Well, if you have a pinned, non-removable device, non-threaded barrel, then that really doesn't do you any good. So keep the threads on your barrel. Keep the threads. Work within the guidelines we have today. The SBR is dead. If you want to waste money buying a traditional SBR, go ahead. I mean, this is America. You can waste money on anything you want to waste money on. But I wouldn't myself. I wouldn't waste the money on that. If I had the extra money, here's the thing. If you're willing to do all the Class 3 paperwork for an SBR, just get an RCP and buy a can.
Boom.
Did that just happen?
Yeah.
It's like, so instead of wasting money on an SBR, you can take the same money you were going to waste on an SBR and spend it on something infinitely useful like a silencer, like a gun muffler.
And where would you get that silencer from?
I don't know. There's a company called silencershop.com somewhere on the internet. Yeah. You could find them somewhere.
And if you'd rather go to an actual local gun shop, find a Powered by Silencer shop place, a dealer, and then you can go in there, use their little kiosk, and it'll do the paperwork for you.
Okay.
Or it'll get the
Do you
paperwork
want to
sent.
play the from the floor announcement now?
We can do that a little bit later because we're going to actually talk about that stuff.
Okay. All right.
So, but Zach's going to go ahead, and my wife is going to talk here pretty soon. So Zach,
not yet, yeah, because we didn't thank people.
Oh, I thought we were going to do that with going through the floor.
Oh, you want to do that by going through the floor?
We can if you want.
Okay.
Do you want to do that, or you want to play the music?
You tell me.
Oh,
all right, Ogre. Go ahead and play. If you're a new listener, you're out there and you're like, this is the first time I've ever heard this guy, and this is the first time I've ever heard this show, and I don't even know if I like it yet. Calm yourself. I'm going to be quiet. And I'm going to let the lovely Miss Alex talk to you, and maybe she'll convince you to do what's right. Mm-hmm. Soon.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Find it all.
All right. All right. You know what I'm used to queuing up right after that?
The Dangerous.
No. The quiet time.
Oh, yeah. That's on Mondays.
It is on Mondays. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go down our list of fan favorites besides Brownells. And, of course, you guys go to brownells.com and sign up for their newsletter. You know what to do. Or you should know what to do.
Are you looking at the notes?
Yeah, I'm looking at the notes.
Okay, I just wondered.
All right. Frog Lube. Green, minty, fresh, bio-based. It's our friends. It's an American company. It is a company, a U.S. veteran-owned company. And they make a non-petroleum firearms lubricant called Frog Lube. And it will not hurt your optics or hurt your electronics or hurt your ammunition. And if you get it in your mouth, it won't hurt you either. So what did you want to say about them? Jarrad was on the floor.
We're doing that now. You know the homeroom section. We need to do a homeroom. That's why I asked if you're looking at the notes. If you got the homeroom music queued up, we need to go ahead and do one of those.
Okay. All right, that is Dangerous by Madison Rising. Now, if you guys have been paying attention for a while with us, you should know that Dangerous by Madison Rising is the official theme music of our Student of the Gun homeroom. And we do a Student of the Gun homeroom every single week, and it's brought to you by our good friends at Crossbreed Holsters. So if you go to crossbreedholsters.com, dangerous, what does that mean? Why is it dangerous? What's dangerous on demand? It's actually having a gun on your body when you need it.
And not just a gun either. With fundamental four, lethal, sharp, bright, and medical.
Yeah. Well, all those things allow you to be a useful human being, but the number one thing that allows you to be dangerous on demand is what? Well, it's having a gun on you, not locked in a safe at home somewhere, not stashed in the trunk of your car, actually having it on your body. And how do you do that? You get one of these things. It's one of these crazy things. It's called a holster. And you attach the gun to your body. And you say, Paul, why would you say that like that? Because I keep running into these stories where people blast holes through their legs and other places and appendages and so forth because they just shoved guns in their pockets or they shoved guns in their waistbands or, man shoots self in Walmart while adjusting pistol in his waistband. Stop doing that. Buy a holster. Wear a holster. All right. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we've got a situation here where we've got. I'm going to talk. I talked about this on the show that we did.
The Ready Men.
Ready Men. But Rabbi praises off-duty border agent who fired at California synagogue shooter. And this is Dateline, April 28th, 2019. The rabbi wounded in Saturday's deadly shooting at the South California synagogue praised an off-duty U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agent who fired at the fleeing suspect. And listen to this quote from the rabbi, Rabbi Yisrael Goldstein. Quote, I had spoken to him in the past about coming to the synagogue armed because he's trained and I wanted trained security as much as possible. And he went on to say, unfortunately, we couldn't afford to have an armed security officer at every service, so whenever we had extra help, we were grateful for it. So, what just went down? Now, it took all of about 35 seconds for the anti-gun Democrat socialist liberals to point to this and say, see, that just proves we need more gun control in America. And actually, one of the ninnies went out and they ticked off a list of gun control items like that they wanted the Senate, the U.S. Senate and House to pass, right? It also happened to be an identical list of all the laws that are in place in California where this happened. So a socialist Democrat went before the newspapers, the reporters, and said, we need derp and derp and derp and derp. And of course, the media today in America is completely and totally spineless and clueless. And no one raised their hand or said, hey, you mean those exact laws that already exist in California and didn't stop this from happening? Is that the laws you want? So on one hand, we have this side of the argument saying that the only way to keep people safe is to disarm good law-abiding people. Because if you disarm all of the good law-abiding people, then somehow that will de facto affect the criminals, terrorists, psychos, and so forth. They'll just stop, right? And then our side, we're like, we've been saying for years and years and years that the best way, you cannot affect the actions and behaviors of bad people. There are evil people in the world. They will continue to do evil things. And holding hands and singing Kumbaya and wishing upon a star is not going to stop that. But an armed good person will. A good person with a gun can stop a bad person with a gun. And that's what we saw here. Do you think that this nut job, that if there wouldn't have been an armed person there, actually two people, one guy who was I don't know if I think he was an Army vet, he was a military vet, actually jumped up minus a gun and charged this bad guy. And he said, and in quotes, I read the story, he yelled at the attacker that I'm going to kill you, you MFer. Yeah. And the guy looked at him like startled. Yeah. And then the Border Patrol agent, then the two of them like chased this guy out. Right. So, but I wanted to bring that up because you are going to go somewhere. You're going to encounter someone that says, oh, this recent thing is just terrible, and it just goes to show how we need more laws in America. And if we only had more laws and repeal the Second Amendment, and this wouldn't happen. You say, yeah, but it was actually an off-duty, basically a person in a civilian or a citizen's capacity. This guy wasn't working on the clock in uniform. He was just a dude who knew how to carry a gun and had one. You realize it was an armed good guy that stopped that from being way worse. 1 dead, 3 injured, as opposed to an entire building dead and injured. So you need to know these things. You need to arm yourself with the facts. You need to be dangerous on demand. You need to make the decision that there is evil in the world, and holding hands and singing Kumbaya and passing reasonable restrictions against the law-abiding doesn't stop that. And if you want to actually be dangerous on demand and have a gun on you all the time, rock on, that's great. What you should do is go to crossbreedholsters.com, use the promo code SOTG18. Yep. And you're going to save money. You're going to save a lot of money. For sure. And have a really good, high-quality holster that will allow you to always have a gun on you. This next one, CPR on gunshot victims, I don't think we have enough time to talk about that.
Okay, we can talk about that on Thursday. You're going to have to say that for Monday.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it on Thursday because we've got to. I'll just throw this down. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't do CPR on gunshot victims. All right? Moving on.
Yep, we'll talk about that more in depth on Thursday, which is actually tomorrow's episode. If you want to become a grad program member, that's how you get Thursdays and Fridays episodes. Go to getsotg.com. And right now, we've still got the free book offer. If you go there, Dad wrote a book. It's called 5 Strategies That Will Save Your Life, or that could save your life. Tips from a Professional Bodyguard. That's the only place that you can get that book. It's not for sale anywhere. The only place you can get it is if you go sign up for the grad program. We send it to you free for your, as a thank you for joining our program.
There you go.
And while we're talking about Crossbreed, I actually had the opportunity to go to their booth at the NRA show, and I got to talk to all of our friends. They all say hello and that they wish you would have been there. And they're going to send, I think you already have one, but I do not yet. Nathan, my buddy at Crossbreed, is going to send over a Reckoning holster with one of their new mag carriers. And
I do have a Reckoning holster for a G-Lock.
Do you reckon? I reckon.
I reckon I do.
I reckon I got a Reckoning.
I reckon I do.
Yep. So he's going to send that. I'm going to test it out. Appendix carry with the mag carrier attached to it and see how it works out. Oh, geez, man, come on.
What's up?
I wanted to open up this NRA app because I starred all the booths that I went to, and there's like even a little note section there, and it
trying to be real smart.
is not working.
It's not working. Maybe they turned it off after the thing went away. Yeah. So who's there? Dennis is like blowing us up here. Hey, if you guys are on YouTubeage, or if you'd like to watch us on YouTube, go.
You go ahead. Continue your thought.
Robert Loggia channeling a little bit of Jay Gibson there, a little bit of the nightmare. But, yeah, go ahead and, yeah, that's true. That's true. The guy got up and he like told that dude that he was going to effing kill him. He was going to kill the MFer and charged at him. And the guy's like, whoa, this isn't what's supposed to happen. Everyone's just supposed to be a helpless victim and lay down, because that's what we have in California is a bunch of helpless victims. So, NRA Annual Meeting. Before we get into the who's and what's and widgets and gidgets and all the cool stuff, I need to address this. People have said to me, how can you continue to support a group like the NRA when this is happening or this is happening and so on and so forth? The NRA Annual Meeting for us, now, if I was an NRA officer, it would mean something different to me. If I was a manufacturer, if I made guns or ammo or whatever, it would mean something different to me. Actually, for the manufacturers, it's an opportunity to actually meet face-to-face with the end user, with thousands of end users. People who are, because at SHOT Show and the Southwest Trading Show and the Sportsman Show and all that, and most of the shows, the vast majority of the shows that these manufacturers go to, they're not dealing directly with the end user. Mm-hmm. They're dealing with wholesalers, gun shop owners, distributors, retailers, online distributors, and all these people, media people, and so forth. But it's not actually the people that buy the stuff, carry it out of the store, and use it. That's what the NRA show is for. That's why I've told people, they're like, man, I really want to go to SHOT Show. I'm like, dude, if you're not in the industry, you don't want to go to SHOT Show. Some people are in the industry and don't want to go to SHOT Show because it's a zoo, right? And you can't really get anything done anymore anyway. The NRA Annual Meeting, what the NRA does for you as the American gun owner, what they do for you is they allow you the opportunity to actually get on the floor and go into the manufacturer's booths, to go and see what's brand new from Mossberg, what is brand new from Glock. Stand in line for, Bob said, I talked to Bob, he said people were standing in line for 3 to 4 hours for a picture and autograph of Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
I said, I can't think of a human that is alive on planet Earth that I would stand in line for 4 hours to see.
Well, what's
Chuck
funny?
Norris, regardless.
I'm actually going to steal this from one of our friends, but
go ahead.
Chuck was actually in line to see me, and therefore all of those people behind him were there too.
Good.
I was the dude.
So that is why the NRA Annual Meeting is important to you, the American gun owner, the American patriot, the liberty-loving, Constitution-loving America. It's not for the insider politics of the NRA. Now, you guys know that the board of directors is actually open to election.
Mm-hmm. And you vote at the NRA show.
Yeah, and you can vote for the board members. You can, and I really don't want to spend a lot of time talking about that. But for us, like somebody said to me, they're like, well, I don't know about the NRA. I don't know about their politics, or I don't know about their, capitulation on the red flag thing. And I said, well, NRA show to me, NRA meeting, whatever you want to call it, it's not for that. It's because it gives us an opportunity to be in the same building at the same time, in the same city, as hundreds and thousands of our friends. That's why it's important to us. That's the most important thing. That's what the NRA actually gives us. They give us the opportunity to all gather together in one city, in a giant building, or at a ballroom or at a restaurant or whatever, and be together. Because very rarely especially with us. We got Student of the Gun here. And we have grad program members and fans and listeners from all over the United States of America, right, and other countries too. But that is an opportunity for grad program members who know each other in the groups, and they know each other in the, through the dialogues and the discords and all that. That's the opportunity for them to all come together face to face. And we've been doing that now for 6 years. For 6 years, we've been Student of the Gun follower, supporters, and so forth have been gathering together this is actually the 7th year that we've done it, at the NRA Annual Meeting to meet, to be together as like-minded individuals. And that's why the NRA Annual Meeting is important to us. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something else. Everyone, people, we argue about, Second Amendment Foundation, Gun Owners of America, Jews for Preservation of Firearms, NRA, and so on and so forth. They're like all these different organizations. Who should I support? Who should I give money to? Yada, yada, yada. The truth of the matter is, and the ugly truth that people don't want to address, is of all the pro-2A organizations, Second Amendment Foundation and NRA are the number ones. They probably get more legislation passed and so on and so forth than anybody else. Now, here's the question I have for you at home. If the Bill of Rights means what it says, if you have never read the Bill of Rights to the United States Constitution, I cordially invite you to go ahead and do that. If the Bill of Rights means what it says, if you are an American citizen capable of reading and understanding the English language, why do we need an NRA? The NRA, like it or not, hate it, love it, whatever, is a necessary evil in our time. I'm not a joiner, right? I've never been a joiner. I've never been someone who needs to be a part of a club or an organization or a group. There's been very few times in my life that I've voluntarily and deliberately and purposely did that. I became a United States Marine. That was the biggest, most influential club that I've ever been in. Okay. I was a police officer for a while, which was a smaller club. But as far as, being a joiner or, being involved in these things, I can truly take it or leave it because I don't need that to be my, that's not my identity. My identity is not, people are like, well, I'm not a blank. I'm a Paul Markle. Okay. I mean, I am a Marine, but I'm a Paul Markle. I don't identify as, I was never in a fraternity, or an order or what have you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm telling you is this. Everyone's like, oh, NRA sucks, and NRA this, and NRA that, and I don't like them, and I'm not giving money or support. Here's the deal, dude. You know why there's an NRA? Because you and your fellow citizens have allowed the people who are supposed to uphold and enforce the law of the land, you've allowed them to abdicate their duty. You've allowed them to forget about it. You've allowed people who are supposed to be elected to be your representative, not your boss. They didn't go to your state capital or to Washington, D.C. to be your boss, your slave master, your owner, to be your dictator. No, they were supposed to go there to represent you and the nation and your state and so forth. They get there and they decide, oh, well, this part of the Constitution gets in the way of what I want to do, so I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to pretend it's not there. I'm going to pretend it's something that it isn't. That's why the NRA has to exist, is because we, as a citizenship, we as people of the United States have allowed the people who are supposed to be our representatives to instead morph into this ruling class who knows better than we do. You silly peasants, you dummies out there, you don't really know what government is all about, and you don't really know the purpose. And so because you're so dumb and so moronic and so feeble and so helpless, we need to just go ahead and do what's right. All our good intentions, Daniel Webster So the U.S. Constitution is our only defense against good intentions, right? So they go there and decide that we're a bunch of dunderheads, and we say, hey, but there's this thing called the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights that enumerate our rights as citizens. And they're like, yeah, but you just don't really understand that. So just be quiet. We'll tell you what it means. We'll tell you what we need to tell you, and you just go to work, make money, give us taxes, and we'll tell you. That's why the NRA exists. So you say, I hate the NRA. I don't like them. They make me mad. All right. What are you doing to correct the bad behavior of the representatives of your state?
And I've got the two questions that I ask people that bash on the NRA is, what are you doing to change it? And then you took it a step further. What are you doing to change what what our representatives are doing? But I asked, what are you doing to change the NRA? If it's nothing, the only acceptable answer to that question is nothing, because I'm starting my own organization and my goal is to be bigger than the NRA. Yeah.
And you know, that's the thing is like, our NRA, and we're like, it's like when I wrote the article for the Blaze about searching for a savior. Mm-hmm. The president's not supposed to be your savior, whether he's a Republican or a Democrat. The president's not supposed to save you. The president's not supposed to fix all of your problems. The president's not supposed to be your daddy, okay? Not supposed to, give you an allowance and so forth. That's not his job. And both parties look to the president as their savior. If only our guy would get elected, then everything would be great. But that's not the case. It's not supposed to be. And that's why we're in the situation we're in now, because we keep looking out away from ourselves to say, this is America today. Hey, that building's on fire. Someone should do something about that. Yeah, but you're standing right next to a fire extinguisher. It's not really my job. I hope someone comes and takes this fire extinguisher and puts that fire out. Yeah. I'm gonna go over here with my cell phone and I'm gonna video it. No, that's what there's a problem. We see the problem. We know there's a problem, and everyone says someone should do something about that. Not me. The NRA should do something about that. My representative should do something about something. The president should do something about this. Everyone should do something about that, but me. I'm comfortable.
It's too hard. I have to.
If I run over there, I could stub my toe, or I could, I might sweat, or I might get hot, or whatever. So I know there's a fire extinguisher right there at my feet. Yeah. But I'm not going to take it and put the fire out because it's not really my job.
And a real life example is people that complain about the way things are going, but then they say, "Well, I have to work too much." Like, do you have to?
Why do you have to work too much?
Yeah. Well, and you don't
really.
Well,
look at my tax bill.
Yeah.
And all of you guys that are like derpa, whatever. If you obviously didn't listen to the last 10 minutes. If you just jumped in here and you're like, I hate the NRA and NRA sucks and I'm going to give my money to someone else. Okay, fine. I just explained the NRA is a necessary evil because we as the citizens have allowed the representatives to ignore the Constitution. That's why we have to have it. We shouldn't have to have an NRA. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't. The truth is, our municipalities shouldn't have to have 500 police officers.
And you know that.
We should have a sheriff and a posse.
Yep. I talked to, while I was there at the show, I talked to a dude that has been an NRA life member since, I think he said the 1960s. It's a pretty decent amount of time. I'm pretty sure he's seen the history of the NRA.
Right.
And he said that it was essentially started as a sportsman's club. Mm-hmm. So for trap and skeet shooting. And then they made the switch to protect the Second Amendment rights because they realized that if they didn't do that, then they would lose the ability to be a sportsman's club as well.
Here's my big problem with the NRA, and I've voiced this. I've been voicing this for years and years and years, is we as a gun culture, not just the NRA, but everybody, Gun Owners of America and Second Amendment Foundation and all these people, the problem is that what we've allowed is we've allowed ourselves to get so focused on 2A. 2A all the way. I'm a 2A, 2A this, 2A, 2A, blah, blah, blah. There's actually 10 in the Bill of Rights, 10 amendments. And the Bill of Rights is our defined rights. It's the rights of the people explained, not created. See, most politicians would tell you that the Bill of Rights created those.
It's not.
They were granted to you based on the fact that there is a Bill of Rights, and now you're allowed to have those. That's not the case at all. The NRA and all the other gun organizations have focused so hard on 2A that we've forgotten about 4A and 5A and 14A. I know 14A is not Bill of Rights. We have forgotten that as citizens of the United States of America, we have the right to private property. Private property is anything I lawfully own. Yeah. Any object that I can buy legally is private property. Money, cars, houses, handguns, shotguns, rifles, ammunition, plastic parts that screw onto guns, those are all property. You cannot have liberty without private property rights. It's impossible. The two do not exist in the same universe. The citizens can either have private property rights and liberty at the same time, or they don't, and they don't have liberty. Okay, you see, I hope you guys understand that. Private property rights are essential to liberty. And a firearm is private property. I understand 2A says yada, 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 right? I get that. I'm down with you, okay? But when we allow our reps to say, well, yeah, but in the case of a gun, you lose it. You know, in the case of a gun, I've got one, the Hughes Amendment and the Lautenberg Amendment. And all these amendments are tacked on are like, well, if this guy is 19 years old. When I was a cop, I hated this because, you know, when I was a police officer, the big push was domestic violence. If you guys have ever been a cop, you'll know that there are hot topics that cycle through. They're cyclical. Like every 5 years or so, there's a new hot topic. It's either drunk driving or domestic violence or this or that or drug abuse or whatever. But basically, the state, all of a sudden, and most of it's based on taxation and grant programs and all that. So they figure out where they can get money and how they can convince the people to give them more money. They come up with hot topics. And when I was a police officer, a new police officer, the hot topic was domestic violence. Yeah, thank you. Hughes Amendment, no machine gun, Lautenberg Amendment for domestic abusers.
I like Matt Garfinkel.
Right.
He said allowed. I can't say the rest of it.
Yeah.
Question mark. Allowed? Question mark?
If you are a domestic abuser, if you were 19, I actually had to go to a house where a 20-year-old guy, and 20-year-olds are kids. A 20-year-old and a 20-year-old guy and a 19-year-old woman had a fight. The neighbors called, and there was broken stuff, right? And so somebody had to go. Somebody had to go. So I had to, basically based on the circumstances, I knew this guy was a knucklehead, right? He was wrong. He lost his temper. He broke crap, and so on and so forth. So exactly, Mike, OJ, they started pushing that after 92. So I had to arrest this guy. I had to charge him. The prosecutors dropped it down to a misdemeanor, right? They dropped it down to a misdemeanor charge. He didn't do any jail time. He did. Well, I didn't follow the case a lot after I was done with it, but I know that he did like supervised adult probation and something, right? 20 years old. But officially, according to the state, he has a domestic violence conviction on his record. A misdemeanor domestic violence on his record. And he's not allowed, unless he gets a bunch of money and an attorney and petitions the court and spends the money and time to petition the court, and it goes through the system, and they decide to relieve that, right? To relieve that injunction. If not, for the rest of his life, he's 20 years old, he screws up, gets in a domestic argument with his wife, breaks stuff, whatever, police are called. he's punished for the rest of his life in the United States of America because of the Lautenberg Amendment. Now, I ask you this. He's not allowed to have a gun, right? Would someone who is 20 years old in that situation, would you say for the rest of your life you did no jail time, you did supervised adult probation and a fee or fine or community service or whatever, right? You're never allowed to own a car the rest of your life. People be like, no, that's stupid. You can't tell someone they're not allowed to own a car for the rest of their life. How about you're never allowed to own a home for the rest of your life? You can never purchase a home, own a home. You can never own property. You can never buy land or own it for the rest of your life. People are like, no, that's stupid. You can't do that because as an American, he's not a convicted felon. He's not actually in prison. You can't deny someone their private property rights because of a misdemeanor, unless it's a gun. The moment we allowed our slave masters to differentiate between, yes, Mike, they took the cop's discretion away. You had to make an arrest or you had to report to the state why you didn't. So, but we allowed our slave masters to differentiate firearms from private property. In the United States of America, firearms are no longer private property. And you're like, yeah, they are, Paul. They're private property. No, they're not. If somebody with a misdemeanor conviction can lose the right to own that property for the rest of their life, unless they come up with a bunch of money for attorney's fees to beg the state to give them their rights back, then they lose it. That is the biggest problem I have with the NRA, with every gun rights organization in the United States of America, is we allow the enemy, we allow the other side to dictate the terms as far as what is property and what is not, and what they've decided. And we should have been fighting the Lautenberg Amendment, and we should have been fighting that stuff, but we're cowardly because they're like, oh, then you just want domestic abusers to have guns. No.
Yep.
So what we've done is we're right now, what we have sown is we sowed the seeds of setting up a precedent where the state can deny you of your private property rights based upon misdemeanor charges. And here we are 20 years later. Now they're like, if you say something or your neighbors think you say something or your sister-in-law who hates your guts calls us and says you said something, we'll just come take your property. And if you resist, we'll kill you. With no charges, no conviction, no right to face your accusers, no due process of law. Due process of law is not one man saying, yeah, go take that guy's crap. That is not due process of law. That is the problem we have. And if the NRA is soft on red flag gun laws, they're 100% in the wrong. If the NRA is soft on the bump stock, 100% in the wrong, because a bump stock is silly or stupid or retarded. I hate it. It's dumb. It's a range toy, blah, blah, blah. It's property. It's lawfully owned property. You cannot allow the state to arbitrarily seize private property without the due process of law. Charges, right to face an accuser, trial by jury, and so on and so forth. When somebody just writes some words on a piece of paper and says, hey, go take their property, that is a tyranny. That's what happens in Venezuela. That's what happens in every basically communist socialist dictatorship in the world. Whoever's in the big chair says, hey, those people that I don't like, hey, screw them. Go take their property. And if they resist, just shoot them. And we'll deal with them. That's why the United States of America is different. That's why we have to treat guns as property. And that's where NRA and any Second Amendment organization that doesn't highlight the fact that guns are property is wrong, and they're missing the boat. So, there you go.
Yep. Well, let's we're going to go super long on this.
Yeah,
one,
we're going to go
fine,
so long.
because that was fantastic. That was a good monologue. I wish we would have ended on that note. But we've got to talk about what happened on the floor.
We got to pay the bills.
Right. Yeah. So
this studio's not free.
What happened on the floor of NRA this year? And I was flying all by my lonesome this time, and it was actually kind of weird because while I was there, I realized that this is literally the first NRA show that I've been to that was not a father-son event.
Yeah.
And so it was a little bit weird for me to go without you, but I persevered and I made it through it. So I'll start. I'm actually looking at my planner app here. And
did you get it to open?
I did. It finally opened.
Hey, Ogre, are you good back there?
Where's the Zack Cam?
I mean,
I
don't really have a choice but to be good. Not like a good
okay. I want to make sure the audience knew that you were still there.
Yeah, I'm still here. Don't worry.
There was people asking earlier of where the Zack Cam went.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here, man.
Oh, he was on his phone.
Are you
I just
warm?
saw him. He's like, "Oh crap! I got to put it in my pocket."
Nah, you're all right. You're good.
He went off on a 15-minute rant. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
It's not a rant. It's a monologue. There's a difference.
It's a mono rant.
That's a T-shirt for you guys. It's not a rant. It's a monologue.
There's
a difference.
Zach, can you make that one? That's pretty cool.
Sure thing.
Cool, do it. So my little app here, my planner app, says that Duracoat Firearms Finishes was booth number 808, which is the lowest number that I went to.
Well, there you go.
There we go. And I got to talk with our good friends, the Lauer family. Those of you that know and that have been paying attention, they're doing a Fighting Solves Everything gun tattoo. They've got the slightly darker black. Are you reading comments?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what you're. Okay. They did the slightly darker black, and they've got the Fighting Solves Everything gun tattoo. They'll go perfect with the Pin Pan lower. And you go to DuracoatFirearmsFinishes.com and get those. What else, Dad?
Oh, okay. Well, Duracoat is. You guys know them.
You know what I need?
What's
I
that?
need some freaking water.
You need some freaking water.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna text my
You
wife.
want to text your production assistant and have water arrive.
Yeah.
No. Duracoat is there because they want you to not have an ugly gun, and they're working hard every single day to give you like as many options as you could possibly have. So go to Duracoat Firearm Finishes, get the slightly darker black, all right, and get the gun tattoo, the Fighting Solves Everything gun tattoo, and put it on anything you want. I don't care. You're an American. Stick it wherever you want to stick it. So they're good people. It's a family-owned business. So Duracoat, and you can go to Duracoat Firearm Finishes. What else you want to talk about?
DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com. The next booth that I've got here is Silencer Shop. We talked about them already. Go to silencershop.com. What was that?
Right there.
Oh, yeah, you're doing the thing. So people that are watching can see it. Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you so much. Yeah, look at that. It's not beer or vodka. It's water. Thank you.
Just fornicate me, I guess.
Oh, you don't get any. Hey, Alex.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
Please,
Thank
cold
you.
water,
Thank
please.
you very much.
Thank you. Isn't she great?
Yep. Silencershop.com. Mike Mers was there. I got to see him for a little while.
Mark guy.
You guys have been friends for a while.
Yeah, I knew Mike when he was the fancy dressed man at AAC when they were their own company.
Yep. Crossbreed Holsters is the next one that I've got on here. Talked about them. They're going to send us Nathan, I think, is still here.
Are you still here, Nathan?
Yeah, like I said
Should
last
be.
time, Nathan Engelking. Go find him on here if you have any questions. Send him directly to his inbox, which is probably a bad idea.
Probably a bad idea.
Yeah, contact Crossbreed if you have questions. Century Arms, the sweetest smelling arms maker in America. I got to talk to our dudes there. Jay was there.
Yeah,
I
he's
got to
there.
talk to William. I didn't get to see Chip though.
Chip. You didn't see Chip?
I don't know if Chip was there, Mr. Chip.
I'm sure he was there. He's the marketing guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Joyce.
did you see the new Elite, the TP9 SF Elite,
Yes.
the
Yes, I
Elite
did.
Combat?
Yep.
It's got a gold barrel and a
Is it
black slide.
Golden?
Gold what?
Is it golden?
I might be.
I
don't know.
like gold.
Okay.
Gold member.
Keep going.
Yeah. Spyderco, Joyce. I got
Joyce.
to see her finally.
Joyce.
Every time, every show, we walk by the booth and she's just sitting there in a meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm over there like, hey. Yeah.
Thank you.
But I actually got to talk to her this time.
Milady.
She's doing well. Our buddies at Victos, which reminds me that I need to contact them. They want to do a meeting. Oh, Night Vision.
Night Vision with an F.
Freaking Jacob.
Vision.
Jacob, are you watching?
Jacob's not watching.
Okay, so we had obviously I got to meet a lot
He
of
might be
our
watching.
yeah, I got
Probably
to meet
not.
a lot of our listeners. I got to meet a lot of you guys and quite a few grad program members as well. And I got from a couple of them that they went to the night vision booth, and Jacob had forgot to put the Accurate sights out. So they went there directly and asked for
Please tell me that was Friday and he fixed it.
Yeah, it was Friday. He said,
how could you forget to put the Accurate sights out?
It's Jacob, man. But they fixed it. They're like, hey, I'm here to get the Accurate sights. So I wanted to say that I appreciate you guys that did that, went there specifically looking
good job.
for those.
We got to keep these people tight. We got to keep them tight. And also with night vision, if you guys go to their website right now, it's night, FISION, nightvision.com. If you buy any of the Student of the Gun Accurate sights for either the Glock, the big Glocks, or the regular Glocks, the 17s, 19s, 22, 23, all that, the smaller ones, the 42s and 43s, including the 43 X-ray and the 48, we have the Smith & Wesson, the M&P Shield, either 9, 40, or 45, and the CZs, the CZ P10C, the one that everyone's like crazy goo-goo about right now. If you do that and use the promo code Paul, that's me, Paul, when you check out, you're going to save 10% off of your order. The sights are already very economical for nuclear sights. For nuclear sights, they're very economical. And a lot of you guys are like, when do we get Canik sights? Here's the deal. I told you before, but I'll tell you one more time. If you want Canik sights, you need to contact them directly. Contact the people at Night Vision and tell them, I really want Accurate sights for the Canik pistols. Why are you laughing?
There's a life-size chocolate man here.
Oh, okay, cool.
It just made me laugh.
Did that make you giggle a little
High
bit?
life-size
Okay.
chocolate man.
Made you giggle a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So that's how you get them, because they need to know that there's enough of you out there to buy them to be worth the engineering time to make them.
Yep.
All
And
right.
the Accurate sights, when you go to their nightvision.com, FISION.com,
Yep.
order the Accurates, use the promo code Paul. It gets you 10% off of the sites, but it also
Already low price.
Yep, and it also gives Dad 10% of the proceeds. So thank you for that. Wilson Combat, I didn't get to see Joyce or Bill.
Joyce and Bill.
They had just left. I walked up to the booth and they're like, "Yeah, they left." I'm like, "Oh,
They left.
They must have knew I was coming. They didn't
That's
see me."
probably what it was.
But
They're
I
like,
did.
Jarrad's coming. Let's
Yep.
get out of here.
I did get to see Mike Seeklander. I've never met him in person. I've talked to him a few times on the interwebs. Got to talk to him, and he's going to be coming on for an interview in the near future.
In the near future.
In the near future. And by the way, we're going to be on tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time.
Is that a fact?
Yes, that is a fact. And we're going to be, we will have some people from 1 Million Moms Against Gun Control on to talk about some things.
Some things.
Yep, some things. Aguila. I went there
Aguila
to
Amo.
see Dina.
The eagle.
Dina and Patty. Yep.
Patty, she's fun size.
Yeah, fun sized.
Fun size Patty. Are you watching Fun Size Patty? She fits easily in overhead storage containers.
That's why Dina travels with her. I figured it out.
Because she fits easily in overhead storage containers.
Yeah.
Storage compartments.
Yep. Brownells went by there. We talked about this earlier. I got to see Pete, Ryan, Josh. I got to see Roy. I got to see all of our friends there, and Paul too. They had an after the show event where they had everybody meet up at a bar right across from the convention center. The bar was not prepared.
Oh, really? They
Yes,
weren't? So
they
like,
had one register and like one bartender for a little while, and then they had
Then they had
it
none.
was like emergency.
Then they had none. They're like,
they
"Leave,
called
run!"
and, yeah, 3 more showed up, but that was a good time. I got to talk to, I hung out with some of our grad program members there.
Very good. Very good.
Yep. Cabot. Oh, I got to see Cabot.
Mike at Cabot?
Yeah, you know the.
Did you see Rob too?
Yes, I saw
Rob
both
and
of them.
Mike?
Yep, I got to shake Rob's hand real quick, and sorry, I was looking at my battery. It's dying.
You're looking at your dying battery.
Yeah, and I
Keep going, quick.
Dorito was actually supposed to fly into the show for Friday,
but he wasn't able
He
to.
wasn't able to go there. So,
No.
Dorito, if you're watching, I hope you're doing all right too. Tough Products. I got to see Nancy. She says hello.
TUFF.
Yep.
Tough Products.
She had. I have to tell you something later about
Okay.
the jersey stuff, the jersey that the shooters wear. It's pretty funny. I did not get to see Chuck Buse.
You didn't see Chuck Buse?
I went into the booth and he just wasn't at the show. Yeah,
He didn't come to the show. Huh? He's not slumming in Indiana.
Let's see what else I got here. I've got obviously Ackless. We can go ahead and actually play that video. Zach, will you queue up the Pimp Hand release? And then when you're ready, go ahead and play
So
it.
Jarrad was on the
ready.
floor with our good friend at Joe Mo,
Yep.
and they released the official Pimp Hand lower.
Yep.
And now everyone shush and we won't play the video.
All right, listen up. Shh.
Turn up the audio.
I like this one. And Joe really pushed hard to get this done for NRA because Dad's got cancer. Professor Paul was shooting the gun. He's got cancer. He's fighting it. Fighting solves everything is the message that we're sending. So hashtag fighting solves everything. Any pictures that are taken today, go ahead and send them on social media. Use that hashtag, please. But this is the pimp hand lower, and a portion of the proceeds of this are going to the GoFundMe to help Dad fight this. Believe it or not, it's expensive to stay alive when you're a working man and actually doing stuff. So on this, on the selector lever here, we've got quiet time, listen louder, and then sweet Buddha. Those of you that are listeners of the show know that those are often terms that he uses. And then we've got a pimp hand on this side. It's going to be rotary engraved, and we've got the Student of the Gun logo with the icon here, also rotary engraved, correct? So that way you can use your Duracoat, paint over it. It'll be fine. It won't cover up the laser markings. There's a gun tattoo from Duracoat as well that says "Fighting Solves Everything." We're about to release a dust cover that says "Fighting Solves Everything" on one side and SOTG on the other.
So they're based off of our mil spec, the standard Aquas mil spec design. Type 3 hard anodized, 70-75 forgings. They are some of the best lowers that are available. We're gotten rid of a lot of the roll pins so you don't have damage if you want to swap out parts. Threaded in the back so you don't lose detents, or you can run it as a real low profile. So it's a great premium lower. Really proud to be able to work with y'all and get this going. Try and help out. It's been a lot of fun working with it. I think it's a great concept. So, the Student of the Gun, Aquas Events Pimp Hand Lower.
Can I get this now?
You can. It's available for pre-order now on the website. We're going to release, and basically you just put a deposit down just to hold the spot for you. Waiting for some paperwork approval for the actual production run. We're probably about 7 weeks out now.
And man, I just left my brain because we're talking live here. But the trigger, the echo trigger, put that in here, and you can get to Sweet Buddha.
There you go.
This one is a native Sweet Buddha gun. It has.
I'm going to take this home with me, right, Joe?
No.
I tried.
No.
No, not that one.
This is the
you can
fun
play
switch.
with it. We can bring it for visits.
Okay.
There you go. Hey, I think that's good, right?
Yeah, pull it down.
All right, go ahead and
AquasDefense.com.
there you go. Oh, it faded away, and then we came back.
Yeah, if you go to AquasDefense.com, it is only $20. Man, that's weird. There's no background noise. Shh. It sounds so different. But it's only $20 to reserve your lower, and obviously first come first serve.
As far as
the serial numbers are SOTG-001, 002, etc. So the sooner you get it, the earlier your serial number is.
The lower.
Yep, and obviously you want to, once you get your build done, you want to put some frog lube on the pimp hand lower.
Yeah, of course.
You make it smelling minty fresh.
Minty fresh, and it'll run and run and run and run. That'll be good to go. Good to go. If you go to the Frog Lube website and you go to the Pro Shop, you enter the promo code SOTG, you save money. Mm-hmm. And last but certainly not least, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here because, well, that's it.
I'm tired. You're tired.
I'm tired. You're tired.
Jeez, an hour.
I still have to train. I still have to lift steel today. All right, but I'm going to do it because SWAT Fuel. Why? SWAT Fuel because, they want you to have a stronger body and a sharper mind today, right now, and they've got the products to help you do it. If you are struggling with your fitness program, if you're struggling with weight loss, if you need a really super clean protein powder or multivitamin or what have you, they've got it. Go to SWATfuel.com, use the promo code SOTG, and save money.
I'll tell you what. Jarrad Markle was powered by SWAT Fuel at NRA.
At NRA. There you go.
I actually I forgot my bottle of Plus P. So I had to get somebody to bootleg it into Indiana for me. They brought me a bag of blue pills, and they were like, hey, I didn't think you'd need these when you were this young, but here they are. But, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Really? Okay. All right. Because I'm kind and merciful, I asked Zach, the shipping ogre. Ogre, did you see what I put in the show notes? I put a little red tag in there.
I've got a piece of paper in front of me, so no.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we can do that. Jared, can you do that?
Yeah, I can actually.
I wrote it. I've been in this game for a long, long time now. And if you haven't been paying attention and listening to what I say, what I've written, what I've spoken, that's okay. But chances are I've probably already spoken to that subject at length. Chances are really good that I have. And I wrote an article for The Blaze prior to the 2016 presidential election called Searching for a Savior. It's still up. It's still available. And you can find it and read it. And if you don't understand my thoughts about the presidential elections or about Trump or about Democrats or about whatever, if you're really concerned, you can go and you can read that. You might even say that I was way ahead of my time, which is even more of a reason for you to close the hole under your nose and open both your ears and listen louder.
Yeah.
Would you not say that, Jarrad?
Yep,
That's
I actually just dropped the link in there.
So there you go. All right, we've been going for almost an hour and 20 minutes, which is crazy.
It's like 2 public shows.
It's like 2 public shows. You guys are welcome, and I think that's it. Is that all we have to say?
I believe that's it, man.
All right.
You got. Are you ready, Zach?
I believe we are ready to go.
All right.
Okay.
The ogre's back there, and he's ready, and he says goodbye to you. And I will say this. I will say, you're a beginner once.
But you are indeed a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.